Hi everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, I love this time of day, this time of evening. I've got so many topics on my list today. I don't even know which one I really want to talk about, but I'm leaning towards two of them. I think you'll think it's interesting. Plus, I had a super slow day at sales the other day, although it picked up today. I want to talk about that a little bit too. Let's go take a look. And the dogs are here begging for a treat, and look at that, that's part of the reason. This is dark back here. I'm gonna go turn this in, turn my air conditioner off, and plug the light in right here before I start, because it's kind of dark back here. See if they all work this time. Last time they didn't. All right, they're working. All right, I'll get you your treat. Hold on. So like I said, I have a bunch of topics, but I'm gonna start with the one that I think is the most relevant to most of us out there. And that is when things aren't going well. I won't bore you with my if poem, because this is really just about eBay and nothing else. And I've been talking great about eBay. I've been saying, hey, this is going to be a great Q4. And then all of a sudden my sales stopped. I'm like, what the world is going on? I knew kind of what was going on. But this item, when I filmed my last video, you might recall me saying that when I was filming, because we had 27 things headed out of here, but when I was filming that day we had one sale. This was it. I film every 2 days. $18.95 for these knee pads plus shipping. That was my only sale. Well, it wasn't really my only sale, and that is where the other part of the story comes in. $18.95 plus shipping. So we'll get back to that in just a second. But the second part of the story was I actually had 3 sales that day, which is still a terrible day of sales. I hear Turner. He might be coming in. You'll see a 12-year-old boy here in a minute. He just turned 12. And I don't know if he's waiting out of the door. He can come in. He knows he can come in. Oh, it's the dog. It's not Turner. Any rate, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Oh, I had 3 sales that day. And the previous night before, the last sale, I had a cancellation. All 3 of the sales said they either bought it by mistake or they just want to cancel the order. They changed their mind. I'm like, what in the world? And I've had a few more of those lately as returns. CDs, especially 2 different CDs or CD lots have been returned to me.
Puffles climbed back up the tree.
Puffles is in the tree again. But he's back down? So I don't have to save him this time? 12-year-old boy, y'all. So you'll have to share your experiences with me about that, because it's happened way more than usual. Now, when it's an actual return and before they cancel it, before it actually gets sent out, that's a little bit of a different story, but both have been happening. And to literally have one sale in a day is crazy for me. I mean, I've got 1,800 things in my store, but I did a couple things that I traditionally do, because I'm like, hey, I might film a video. I want to film a video. I might not have enough sales, but we're going to try to get there. John Deere Erdl tractor. It's a pretty nice one. It does have a little bend, a little bow right here. But this one went, this is a viewer sale. Carolyn, thank you. You have always supported us. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the great selection of items on a long-time follower, Carolyn. $17.95 for that one. Plus shipping. I think you got, my wife listed this. I think you got a really good deal at that price. I gotta be honest with you. So there's a few little pieces of context here, or pretext. This right here is a bunch of Dibdit orders. So I have been really trying to promote. I used what used to be right here, if you remember, the Nintendo Switch 2 to promote Dibdit. And over the last week or so, I've really worked hard and tried to promote that and grow it. We grew over 1,000 people in 7 days, so that really paid off. Plus, we made a bunch of sales. Sold $2,700 in 7 days. And I gave away like $600 for the stuff. But we still did okay, and I was happy to do that. By the way, if you didn't win that, GA Picker won it. Georgia Picker. I assume it's Georgia Picker. Her name is Michael. And you haven't contacted me about it yet when I'm filming this video. I'm sure you will soon, but it is already on its way, so it doesn't matter. So thank you, by the way, for everybody who joined us over on Dibdit.com. It's been fun meeting a bunch of new people and talking to some folks over there. But I was like, I got to get this thing back rolling, because, it's been rolling along pretty good, and I'm putting in okay effort trying to clear out that basement, and I've got so many other projects going on, and I'm trying to build this thing over here. I had to do an ad for the Commonwealth Picker channel. That was a pain in the butt for me, because I don't know technology, and that took way longer than I thought it was going to take, and there's just so much. My son's birthday and family's in town. My health, I haven't been, if you remember a few months back, I was really struggling a little bit. And I didn't try not to let on, but a little bit of that's come back. But I'm doing okay now. So I looked into this and I'm like, man, I got to get on the ball. So I just went out and did a bunch of work out there. I did a bunch of work on my front porch and I listed like crazy. I'm like, daggone it, I got to film a video. I'm going to get some sales in here. We're going to get this thing done. I've got it up to 17 sales after having, you know, one sale. So I still can't explain the, you know, I didn't, what's the terminology? I changed my mind. And a few of those I've had to return lately. I don't return the original shipping, but still stinks. And sometimes it's rough. So it made me think of my coaching days or how I talk to Turner and Reagan about failure and stuff like that. And sometimes it's out of your control. And I never let Turner, you know, at a baseball game say it was the umpire's fault or whatever. We'll discuss things logically and try to get better and try to do whatever. Sometimes it is the umpire's fault. But you still can't have that mindset. Same thing with eBay. Sometimes it is eBay's fault. But I'm not going to spend an hour trying to figure it out. I'm just going to get to work and do what works. It might not help me that day. It might not help me that week. But eventually it's going to help me. And so even with and especially when is one of the things that I always talk about Turner. You know, even if this happens, you still are obligated to react in a certain way that will help you progress forward. And especially when, and those are the tougher cases, right? So same thing with eBay for me. I got to listen to my own preaching here. Even with things going bad, and especially when you have a really bad day, canceled orders and sell one thing, that's when you put in the work even harder. And that's what I did. And in the process of it, I was also editing my last video. And I realized when I pulled something out over here, I pulled a Firebird keychain out. And I sold this one. I said I sold this one at full price. And when I was watching that edit, I realized two things. Not only was I really not pushing eBay, because now Jess shipped all this. Don't think I shipped it. Jess handles all that. But I've been doing a ton of promotion and trying to do different things that took up a lot of time. Plus I ran the shows. And we had a pretty good result, $2,700 over there. But this week wasn't particularly great for like 3 days. Although right before that, it was insanely good. So there's always that. You got to expect ups and downs. So like I said, I started to really push, really get things listed. And then when I edited that video, I'm like, that sold at full price. And I normally run a 30% off sale on items that have been in the store for over 225 days. 200 some days, sometimes it's 250. Depending on how sales are going and how many things I have in the store and how bad I need to get rid of stuff. That's my method. I'm not saying it's good for everybody, but it's the method I use. And it works. And let me tell you, I figured out that sale had been off for 7 straight days. And I never, normally I put it on for a month. Well, I was gone in Florida when that ran out, and I did not realize it. And I'm like, you know what? That combined with my lack of effort pushing eBay is why my store collapsed. And that's exactly what happened. A lot of these sales today, maybe a third of them, came from a 30% off sale that I just started last night. Not this one, however. This one is a Hello Kitty, it's probably down here, watch. I think the lady wanted $15 a piece for these. I talked her down to $10 a piece. See how they're not perfect, but it's a Hello Kitty watch. They may be different too. I gotta double check these. And so I paid $10. And I'm like, yeah, Hello Kitty, it's a watch. It says $60. Like, okay, I'll probably get 30. And that's what I got, $30 plus shipping, and there's 2 of them. Let me double check. So I had 2 different listings, so I had to double check because they're 2 different watches. This is the correct one right here. This box is in a little bit better shape, but I think we listed them both for the same amount. So 10 into 25, or excuse me, 10 into 30. So that would be 10 into 30 twice. If I got my math right, I will spend $20 when they're both sold. I'll make $30 net profit, maybe a tick more or a tick less. So I've already got my money back at least on that one. Did I mix them up? I don't think I did. This is the one that had that box damage. So not the best thing in the world, but it was a slow day, y'all. Forgive me. And it was Hello Kitty. Speaking of kitties, the youngest cat, that's what Turner came in and said, the baby cat, if you will, the kitten, except for it's big now, has been climbing up in that tree and can't get down. So I've had to get my old wooden ladder out and save it. Twice now. Turner got him once because he was low, but anyway, if you hear Turner screaming, he's trying to keep the cat out of the tree. So let me know out there, CD sellers. Is this I'm not normally a CD seller, but I have got 2 different returns, one on a lot and one on a single for CDs, and they were both changed my mind. And that really stinks because one of the sales was a really good one. We'll resell it. It won't be the end of the world. Plus, I didn't refund the original shipping because it was a change my mind. But is that a normal thing? Are people out there burning these things or doing something like that and then sending them back? Let me know what you think. Here's another sale from the Filipino Flip. If you haven't watched that video, it's a great one. Go check it out on the Commonwealth Picker channel. And we are, boy, I got all kinds of feedback. Like, you paid way too much, you paid way too little. Just goes to show you cannot make everybody happy. But this is a vintage looking X-Files collectible card game. I don't remember the date on it, but it's definitely old, 90s for sure. And that one sold for pretty decent money. Sold for $66.45 plus shipping. If you watch that video, you know we're keeping track of it. We're selling a lot of that stuff over on diptitcards.com because I don't want to do the research, but that stuff's easy to do. Plus, we're opening some boxes, and I have the Simpsons box, which was like $650, $700. One of them I'm selling on eBay. The other one we're going to have fun and sell them off pack by pack over there. And that brings us to $2,172 from the $1,000. It's actually a $1,050 investment. And that's pretty good so far, considering we have so much left. The dog's here, some kind of an animal out there. I don't know what that thing is. We do have a fox that lives back there. This is pretty cool. I paid up. Speaking of paying up, I don't have a size on this one because there's no tag. But I paid up for this one. I was at a highway sale in Florida. And I went to a sale, and it was ridiculously overpriced. Like crazy. Well over eBay. And I saw these hanging in his garage in the rafters. I'm like, would you be interested in selling those? And I got a big pole or something, got them down. And I paid $10 for it. And it is a vintage, I don't even know what this thing says. Honkin' on Bobo shirt. It's obviously it's a tour shirt from Aerosmith. Listed for $39.95, and it's sold. So 10 into 40. I'll take that flip. Speaking of working hard here, that's what I'm talking about. I hadn't even got this bin into the other shed. This is a cool little story here. I have my boy plays on travel baseball team, Anorak team, and one of the grandfathers of a boy on that team said, "Hey, I bought this at a yard sale. Thought I'd give it to you. Lutheran Study Bible." Said he paid $3. And I was like, no, I'm not going to take it. I'll pay you for it. There's that Simpsons. I'm selling that one on eBay. If it was sealed, it'd be like $800-900 bucks. But the packs are sealed. I think I can get like $650 for it. At any rate, I gave him $5 for it. Sold for $24.95 plus shipping. I looked down at my list of topics, and I forgot one other thing that was bad that happened that day. I got a FedEx upcharge. And it was $11 upcharge. I have been saying for a while I have not seen that much from FedEx lately, but that is always a concern with them. They said I mismeasured that thing by 4 inches on one side. I just can't believe that. But hey, who knows? So that made a bad day even worse. And so it's still even more of the even win, especially then put in the work. And look, it's paid off because we're talking about sales. This one's not a great one though. But I paid next to nothing for all that Cincy stuff. $20 and I got a pile of it. And I'm already in a profit, so I'm happy. $9.99 plus shipping. It's a round warmer. There was some mildly good news, however, and I sold these. These I just listed like that. What? Not that one. Let's see, how many of these were just listed? Obviously this one, so that got a sale for sure. Some of those other ones are older ones though, so maybe it's just luck of the draw sometimes. Harry Potter duvet cover and pillowcase. I must have listed these too cheap because they both sold really quick. That one sold for $24.95 plus shipping, and this one sold right after this. This one might be a viewer sale. Matter of fact, I think it is. Ordy, thank you. $24.95 plus shipping. I'm glad you got it because that one went super fast. The mildly good news is I saw Facebook started doing that automated feedback for items that nobody leaves feedback for after a certain date. I got 77 of those already, so check that, see if that'll, maybe it should boost, it should do nothing but help our feedback ratings. Of course, it's going to help everybody, so it's kind of mitigated by that, but you get the point. I was kind of happy to see that eBay followed through on that one. My daughter is happy, super happy that this one sold. Willie. Little ventriloquist dummy right here. This was a throw, and I bought a bigger one that I thought would go for more money, and I was like, you know, maybe I can be able to get a better deal. I think I got this one for 10 because of the other one, and I negotiated it. Anyways, I can't really remember. But this one had a few issues, unfortunately, so we didn't sell for a ton, but it's still a nice little profit. $35 for this one, plus shipping. And I had a Care Bear sale, which always makes my heart happy. This is 2004. I believe. Let me make sure I got this one right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, that is not the right one. It's yellow, but that's not Playful Heart, right? That's Sunshine, and that looks like an older one. I can kind of feel it. have to go find this one right here. Let's see here. Yellow. I might have to turn my camera off and dig. It might be over here. As soon as I turned my camera off, I realized it wasn't. It was a bear. It was a Care Bear cousin, 2004. And whoa, this is the day of pay up sales. I think I paid $3. She wanted $5, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I'll give you $3. It's a Care Bear cousin, for goodness sake. Playful Heart Monkey, 2004. $15.95. The cousins do better, plus shipping. After those pay up sales, it's nice to see. I bought this one for $1. Ricardo of Beverly Hills, and it's got a little dust on it right now. And this one, it's not a huge winner, but whenever I see Ricardo, it does okay if you can get it dirt cheap. It's like a travel, like folds out toiletry bag or something like that. I don't really know. $22.75 for that one, plus shipping. And I only paid $1, so I'll take it for sure. There was 2 other topics. I'm going to save them, I think, for a different day. One of them is I had a lot of people surprisingly totally not understand what I mean by flat rate shipping. Most of you do, but some of the new folks are just like, I don't even get it. And so a lot of people confused, like priority mail, that's a rip, you know, all kinds of stuff. So maybe we'll do that on a different day. I had a lot of questions from the Q&A about bookkeeping, and I have some news coming out on that because I've talked to the Reseller Genie people. And I'm like, you know, I think there's a great opportunity for a really compact, like, I don't know, seminar, whatever, I don't know what you want to call it, but for new folks to really get an education quickly on it. We'll talk about that in a different video as well. And the other thing was de minimis. I've started to see videos come out. I've been talking about this for quite a while at this point, but I'm starting to see people come out and say, oh, this is really going to be really good for a lot of eBay sellers and really bad for a lot of eBay resellers. I think most of us, if you watch me, are going to be in the really good category. So we'll talk about that on another video. This next sale came on that 30% off. And a couple of those other ones I think might have, looking at those numbers, college bid. Let's look in here. I'm looking for an Iowa State Hawkeyes old hat. I bought this in Florida at a highway sale. That is not it. I'll have to find it. Actually, it was the hat. And some of you may remember this sale. I bought a bunch of hats off of a guy I had just bought off of his wife, paid way up for some brand new Coach bags in the boxes and everything. And I asked him about hats, and he brought out this gold mine of hats. It was absolutely awesome. This was in there. It was a little beat up, unfortunately. Foam has collapsed on it, but it was so cool. I bought it anyways. Rose Bowl 1982 Iowa Hawkeyes hat. Sold on 30% off. Still got $17.46 plus shipping. I paid $1. And that was the second viewer sale. And I don't normally read these unless they're on the purchase itself, but this was in the messaging system and I saw it. Thanks, Kevin, for dropping your price because of the 30% off and letting me purchase this item. I'm a huge Hawkeye fan, Iowa Hawkeye. I will add this to my hat collection. As I said before, I love watching your site on YouTube. You have taught me some things to look for when I go to yard sales now, looking for things being sold cheap. Amen. That might be worth some money down the road. I do get a kick out of how you wheel and deal with some people. Keep up the good fight and keep passing out information. It is widely appreciated. Thank you. Thanks again, avid watcher Rodney. Rodney, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy that hat. I know I enjoyed picking it up. You know, people will buy anything. Single stitch Enron t-shirt. A little fuzzball on here to take off. With the tiniest of logos, for goodness sake. Beefy tee, single stitch, 30% off. I didn't think I had any of these left. $13.96 plus shipping. The Tyco slot cars just keep selling. That was kind of cool. Let's see here. I still have some left. They've been going for decent money for tiny little items. This is I think it's a Porsche. I think that's what that is. Yep, there you go. $24.95 plus shipping. So another item on 30% off. This is Cat's Meow, a lot of 10. Christmas, I believe. Hope I get this right. $48.97. So on 30% off, still making a really good profit because I bought a massive ton of it for $15. So that was a really good one. I'm very glad I double checked that to make sure because I needed the Williamsburg collection. And that was still a great sale, but not the Christmas. Had to put that back. And I sold another hat, and this was also 30% off. Man, I bought this one forever ago for $1. I thought it looked cool. Continental. and it wasn't a very good purchase, but it still sold at 30% off for $10.46. So $1 into that, I'll still take it. I love selling hats, even though they're slow sellers, and some of them will go for a whole bunch. All right, so we've had 17 sales after that dismal day, so that is really good. You got to put in the effort. Sometimes you got to cross your fingers too. Always put in that effort, especially when things are bad. All right, this next one, I don't know. It says repeat buyer, but they bought 2 things. This has to be a viewer sale. It has to be my 3rd viewer sale. Has got to be, because they used the 5% off coupon, code Commonwealth. You can buy anything in the store, use code Commonwealth, unless you've already got an offer sent. And I usually send 5% on offers anyways. But this one is from Kathy Ann, and she says, thank you for your discount. It's very much appreciated. Let me show you what she bought. These are cool. I've been saving these for a while because I technically got them for free, even though I didn't. I've talked about Gary Vee on here quite a few. I know some people don't like him at all because he swears all the time and whatever. But anyway, to each his own. Let me pull these 2 out really quick. I'm going to have to look for sizes. My son was very into NFTs and the V-Friends and all the stuff that came out at the very beginning, and I got to spend a lot of time with him doing it, and I fortunately lucked into making a whole ton of money off of it without knowing a darn thing. But it was really just to kind of be with him a little bit. He's 22 now, so I'm glad I did it. But these, I bought a bunch of this stuff, these V-Friends merch, but I bought a bunch at the very beginning because I had made so much money off of buying and selling an NFT for a ridiculous price, and now they're worth hardly anything. Anyway, these right here I bought because I had a credit. I used to do Whatnot, and I had a credit for signing up. People go over there and do all that, and I had a big credit over there. I'm like, well, I might as well buy something. And Gary was over there selling on Whatnot, as he does. He did come and visit diptychcards.com, which was really cool. He did an interview over there with Rod, picking and punching for us. And I was able to get one of these boxes for $99 on the initial thing. These are worth like 750 bucks. I've got a few more that we're breaking over there just for fun. And these I bought off of Whatnot with credit when he was selling them over there. All credit. And I've listed them and sold some. And there's still some left. $63 for these. That's a pretty good deal, by the way. $63 for those sweatshirts. So, and I don't know what this one's called. This is called, what is it called? Cream size, Authentic Anaconda. Size medium. And some sweatpants. That's a hoodie. And that is size XL. So not bad. $63 plus shipping. I also wanted to talk about live selling. Got a lot of questions lately. Like somebody went, well, I'll tell you what, I'll save this for another day, but I will continue to repeat this. I honestly believe live selling is for about 5% of typical resellers. And I'm going to keep saying that for a while. I do realize eBay is starting to push it out. Really, I'm getting alerts and stuff. That may change someday. And many more people could get involved in it, I think, but it just doesn't make sense for a whole bunch of people. But it does make sense for some people. It's why I don't ask people to go sell on diptych.com. But I do ask people to go over there and check it out and hang out with us, buy, whatever, because I have done really well. I've got some items right now that I was buying. Now, you got to pay up. You can't get like a $1 item that's going to sell for $50, but daggone, you can get some $12, $14 items and bundle them all up like this. Y'all, we sold for a week over there. And we were able to package them all up and give really, really good deals on shipping. I mean, some of these boxes are huge. And so people could buy like 20 items and pay like $25 for shipping, or sometimes less, because we'll refund some of that money back. So I'm going to source there in the wintertime once sales are all done. I source there a little bit now, but it's my site, so I don't like to go on there and bid on everything unless I really want it. For understandable reasons. So you will see me bidding on stuff, but you don't see me bidding on too much over there. Anyway, thank you, Kathy, and I appreciate it. All right, y'all, I'm going to go turn my AC back on and get to shipping. And I hope if you're having a rough time that you can somehow manage to fight through it. Sorry, you're going to have to hear this really quick because it's hot in here all of a sudden. And work through those tough days. And if you're new to reselling, there's going to be tough days. And people can tell their horror stories below. But I usually don't go right to eBay and blame eBay, but I did see a lot of folks saying, hey, there was a 3-4 day stretch, 5-day stretch where it was really, really tough. And who knows what's going on, but in some ways, who cares? You just got to keep pushing if you really want to make it work. So anyway, thank y'all for joining us, and I can't wait to see you next.